Hello, my fellow California gun owners. I'm Nicki. I'm the coordinator spokesperson for the Pink Pistols. We're part of the Coalition of Civil Liberties, and we're fighting not only to defend gun rights here in California, but to go on the counteroffensive and restore lost rights. I'm making this video because I'd like to talk to you about winning in California. I know that many people view that California is a lost cause, that the ship is sinking, that all hope is gone, yada, yada, yada. And the vast majority of gun owners in the state are demoralized, suffering from battered gun owner syndrome. It's like, when will this thing ever end? It's, basically people have just basically given up, and it's kind of like just waiting for the hammer to drop. I disagree with that assessment. I believe that we can win in California. I believe that not only can we stop the bad gun laws that were recently enacted and the upcoming proposition that Gavin Newsom is trying to ram down on us, but that we can then go back in and start undoing what has been done to us over the last 20 years. Okay. Now, why do I feel this way? Because with the Pink Pistols, we have a foot in two different camps. We have a foot in both the gun rights movement and in the gay rights movement. So we see strategies of both sides. Now, in the gun rights movement here in California, what we have seen is we've seen that we're losing gun rights. I mean, we're basically, a Second Amendment at this point is about to become extinct in California. And unless we do something now about it, it will become extinct. The path we're on right now is extinction. So we have to step up. Gay rights, on the other hand, are expanding. Okay, and people inside the gay community, they're fired up. Where decades ago they were in the closet in hiding, now they're out and proud. Okay, I mean, they're fired up and stuff. So what is the difference? Well, the difference is strategy. That's what it comes down to. Now, whether or not you agree with gay rights or not, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is talking about strategies that work. And let's see where we're at, where the gun community is, and where the gay community is on strategy. And I'm just going to briefly touch on overview. Now, the gun community fights defense. How this works is we've been doing a tactical defensive retreat. Every year, we wait for the legislature to come up with laws. We gear up which laws we're going to fight, and then at the end of the year, we go home, and then we wait for the next year. Now, this worked fine when we had balance in the legislature. But over the years, because of shifting demographics in California, and because of the Republican Party basically self-destructing, California is basically a one-party state. Gun rights have been tied in with the Republican Party, and anti-gun guys line up with the Democrats. The Democrats are now in charge. In fact, many of the Democrats look at standing up to the NRA as a badge of honor. So that's not good for us. Basically, we wait to get hit. We're always reactive. We're getting beaten up, okay? We're getting blindsided by bills coming out of nowhere. Frankly, we're exhausted, okay? I know that many of you do not like Governor Jerry Brown, okay? But Governor Jerry Brown has actually vetoed many laws. Yes, he has signed laws, but I'll tell you right now, after Jerry Brown retires and we get a replacement Democratic governor, every gun bill that hits the desk will get signed. I mean, that's, and we can't stop things in the legislature right now unless we change the climate now, and we have to start now. If we don't start now, when will we start? Gay activists, on the other hand, have always been on offense. They've been picking and choosing the battles. They're always proactive. Well, when you pick your battle and you're the one throwing the shots and stuff, the likelihood of you winning is significantly increased. And yes, they've had losses, but rather than saying, "Oh, man, we lost on this, we're all beaten up and going home, oh, boo-hoo," they said, "Okay, fine, let's step back. Why did we lose? What could we do different?" They evolve, they change, then they go again and again. They have been relentless, and because they have been relentless and active, they started winning, and now they feel empowered. Okay? The gays are registered to vote. And come elections, over 80% plus of them vote. They go to the polls, they vote. They are involved, they're engaged. That's why even though they're small numbers, they get a lot done. And because they're effective, others have come and made alliances too with them. So they've got public support is actually with them on the vast majority of their issues. And on issues that have been controversial, they have been able to actually sway public opinion their way because they actually outreached and talked with people. So what do we need to do that's different? Well, it's nice to say, okay, fine, go from defense to offense. That sounds nice. But how do we do it? Well, we have to watch out for opportunities. Fortunately, we have opportunities, okay? And we got a big one this year, okay? We can thank Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom. And I'm not saying this because I like what he did at all. But he was arrogant and he bit off way more than he should have chewed. You see, Gavin wants to become governor and he wants to get his public attention. So he went to his friends in San Francisco and an anti-gun group in San Francisco, and they drafted up what they call Gun Safety for All. It's 42 pages of massive attacks on our rights that will destroy the gun culture in California. It's now called Proposition 63 and it's sitting on the ballot. Now, his fellow Democrats were not happy with him doing that. Not because they support our rights, but because the last time the gun issue was pulled from the Republican from the party politics between the Republicans and the Democrats and put onto the ballot in 1982, Prop 15, the Democrats, what happened was gun owners got out to the polls and they actually voted. And not only did Prop 15 lose, but while people were at the polls, they voted against Democratic candidates. And the Democrats suffered massive losses, and not just only in California, but across the country. So the Democrats are looking in their legislature and they're saying, hey, this is an election year, and it's going to be a close election year. Al Gore lost the 2000 election because gun owners came out and voted for George Bush. Bill Clinton, the Democrats lost control of the Congress and the Senate in 1994 because of gun control bills that Bill Clinton had passed. So the last thing that they wanted was this, because they know what's at stake, was a initiative on the California ballot so that people would look and bring gun control as an issue in the presidential election in 2016. In fact, Hillary is backtracking on it. So what did our legislature do? Well, they went into a panic, and what they have been doing for years is they've been treating us like the frog in the boiling water. Every year they just nick us, with a few gun bills and stuff, would turn the heat up, and we complained and stuff. But we as the frogs would stay in the water because even though the water is a little warmer, we adapted to it. Well, what they did right now is to get Gavin to pull his proposition from the ballot. Is they rammed through 7 gun bills, which the governor signed last June. So it wasn't a matter they turned up the heat a bit. They turned it up to a raging boil. And a bunch of us frogs jumped out of the pot. In fact, we were stunned. So what do we have now? So now what we have is we've got 7 gun bills that the governor signed. Okay, we've got gun owners woken up. And Gavin, for all their efforts, left Prop 63 onto the ballot. So where are we at right now? Well, some of us frogs who hopped out of that boiling water were pissed. And we said, well, what could we do? And we said, well, you know what? California has a referendum process. Well, did anybody ever try to do a referendum on the grassroots? Because, in all honesty, the large organizations, by the time they get organized and stuff, the deadline would pass. Said, well, some guy tried in 1998, but he fell short. A guy named Jeff Metcalf. He tried to run one on another gun bill. He fell short, 50,000 signatures statewide. Well, Jeff he never had more than 1,000 people collecting signatures, and he fell 50,000 votes short. It's kind of like playing football and getting only to the 20-yard line. Well, fast forward to today. Well, we have tools that Jeff didn't have. Most of us have cell phones. We have social media, Facebook. And we have more than twice the number of volunteers he had right now. So a couple of us got together and we were saying, gee, how about getting some referendums? Well, you know what? Somebody else, a guy named Barry Barami, was thinking the same in San Diego, and he had filed the paperwork. So we contacted Barry and we got together and we came together. And you know what? People are coming together all across the state. In fact, gun shops across the state are stepping up and they've got petitions. We've got over 600 petitions across the state. So we're out there. Okay? As far as the big boys, the NRA, the California Rifle and Pistol Association, I had a powwow with the state leaders. And you know what? They talked to the people above them and they have given the blessing. So everybody is together. Okay, the problem we have though is we have a short window. We've got to get our signatures collected by 26 September 2016. So we've got about 3 weeks, but if we hustle, we can do it. So let's take a look at a few things. We've got 5 million plus gun owners in California. So we need to only get 1 in 10 gun owners to actually sign this. If 1% of gun owners would step up and get involved, okay, we could get this thing qualified over a weekend. We got time if people will just get up and do it, okay? And you know what? We're not talking about a hobby or a sport. We're talking about a fundamental constitutional right. We're talking about a liberty that previous generations shed a lot of blood to give us. We're talking about a liberty that secures the rest of the Bill of Rights. I mean, this is serious. If we lose our Second Amendment rights, we lose everything else. That's what's at stake. If we had 1% of gun owners step up, we could have this done in 1 weekend. Now, the problem is we have to reach people because a lot of people don't know this is happening. We have a website set up, Veto Gun Megadon. If you're watching this video, if you don't own guns and you go and you sign our petitions, we thank you. If you do own firearms, especially if you own an AR, AK, or other semi-automatic rifle, you need to step up and be part of this process. Because if you don't step up, then you're going to have to either register your rifles, or surrender them, or perhaps you're going to be one of those guys who are going to say, well, I won't comply, and you will become a felon. Okay? You can avoid becoming a felon by donating a couple of hours now. I mean, does it really make sense to become a felon when you can avoid it for 4 to 8 hours of time helping us out? Now, going to the gay rights movement, I'm going to tell you right now, if the California legislature rammed through 7 anti-gay bills like they did with gun rights, we wouldn't have 1% participation in the gay community. We would have about 50 to 70% active participation. Okay, they would get this thing qualified in spite of being 1/10 the size of us, because they recognize that if they want their rights, that they have to fight for them. So we can do this, but it is up to you. Now, what happens? Okay, I'm just going to throw something out to you. I want you to imagine the shock in the California legislature when we drop a bomb on them in late September that every gun bill that they passed is now on a referendum for 2018. Okay? That will make national news. That will motivate gun owners not only in California to step up and vote in November, but that will motivate gun owners in other states as well. Okay? Many of the elections all across the country are razor thin. And the gun grabbing movement saying, oh, we just want some simple background checks. When we raise what's going on here in California to people's radar, people say, no, you guys don't want just background checks. You're laying the ground for confiscation. That will get gun owners to the polls. And that could make the difference between the Republicans retaining the Senate and the Congress and whether or not we have President Donald or if we have President Hillary. Now I'm going to be blunt with you, okay? I don't know what President Trump will do as far as gun rights if he's in. That's an unknown factor. But President Hillary is not an unknown factor, okay? She will, basically, if she gets in, there will be no free states to go to. So this is not just so what we do here in California will affect the nation. California is ground zero for all experiments in gun control. Okay, if we step up now, we not only can stop what they did to us, but we can stop gun control from spreading to the rest of the country. If you step up now, and if you're watching this video, okay, you have the duty, you have the honor, you have the privilege of being a foot soldier in defending the Second Amendment. And you'd be like one of the guys at the Alamo. You'd be like one of those brave Russian snipers in the Battle of Stalingrad who stopped the German army. You'd be like one of the 300 Spartans at the Battle of Thermopylae. In fact, many of you say Moulin Lebe. Well, Moulin Lebe also, the king and the Spartans, not only do they say come and take them, they also use them. We can win, okay? We can win, okay? The first battle we have to win is to qualify these petitions. Because I promise you, when we drop this, it's going to shock the California State Legislature. It's going to push them from offense on our gun rights to that they want to save their own skin. If we move forward from a victory on defeating Gun Megadon, okay, we will defeat Prop 63 come the November election. At that point, all bets are off. We're on full-on offense, and we will come into the 2017 elections legislative session stronger than ever. Believe me, our legislature, when they realize that their necks are on the line, they will be in a position to cut lots of deals. Getting our petitions qualified could mean that we could stop all future California gun legislation in its tracks in 2017, 2018 session. And if they do get a law passed through, fine. We'll do another referendum and it'll be on the ballot. Okay? And the 2018 ballot will be all full of gun measures. Now, between 2017 and 2018, okay, thanks to Gavin Newsom and his Prop 63, we will know where in California people voted for gun rights and where they voted against gun rights. And that will give us a map of where we need to do outreach so we can shift public opinion so that we will win in 2018. And then when we win in 2018, we're going to come in 2019, 2020 session and start cleaning house. Who knows, if enough of you actually step up now, come 2017, 2018, we could actually clean up California gun laws that during those 2 years. I'm looking not only to stop these gun laws now with counteroffensive, but once we got a built-up statewide grassroots group, we will kill any future gun control laws before they even get to the legislature, and we'll go on a full-on offensive. And we will be able to restore lost gun rights within the next 4 years. In fact, my goal is that we're going to set the clock back to 1967. But in order to do that, We have to win this first battle. Okay? We have to win this first battle. So get involved. Win this first battle. Once you get the taste of victory, once you get the taste of the other side bleeding and stuff, you'll want more. Okay? We can win. We can win. All we have to do is show up for the fight. Thank you.